NightCity, Watson District, a violent assault erupted yesterday in Kabuki's busy commercial strip, leaving 2 civilians dead and 3 others injured, including 2 NCPD patrol officers. Authorities have classified the case as a suspected cyberpsychosis incident. The assailant remains at large, and the NCPD has launched a full-scale investigation, according to police and eyewitness reports. The attack began when the suspect suddenly turned on a street vendor before targeting nearby NCPD officers on routine patrol. The suspect then fled the scene swiftly. Witnesses described the attacker's movements as highly agile and evasive, with indications that they may have been equipped with military-grade cyberware and optical camouflage. Surveillance footage shows damage to storefront defenses and nearby public infrastructure. The deceased include 1 street vendor and 1 bystander. Of the 3 injured, 2 were NCPD officers and 1 was a civilian. 1 officer sustained critical injuries and is currently receiving treatment at a medical center. The 2nd officer suffered minor wounds, while the civilian victim sought independent care from a Ripper doc. An eyewitness at the scene said,
"I was just standing by the street smoking when I heard people screaming. At first I thought it was just some folks arguing, but when I looked over, someone was already lying in blood. People around all panicked, pushing back. But some still got cut. It was real messy, to be honest. I'm still scared. Feels like one day, I will be the next one."
NCPD warned that cyberpsychosis-related assaults have been on the rise in recent weeks. Citizens are urged to remain vigilant, keep a safe distance from individuals displaying erratic or hostile behavior, contact authorities immediately, avoid traveling alone in public spaces, and follow police instructions in the event of sudden violence. The NCPD is also appealing to the public for any information that may assist in locating the suspect.
Yesterday, 2 serious incidents involving autonomous vehicles occurred in Watson, leaving multiple people injured. The first accident took place in Kabuki. A fully autonomous Thrace sedan suddenly veered onto the sidewalk, striking 5 pedestrians. 3 victims sustained serious injuries, while 2 suffered minor wounds. Witnesses reported that the vehicle abruptly accelerated during travel and made no attempt to avoid the crowd. All injured parties were rushed to nearby medical facilities and are reported to be in stable condition. The driver of the vehicle involved in the Kabuki incident said,
"I was not even touching the steering wheel at the time. The car was in full autopilot. Suddenly, it just accelerated on its own. I had no time to react, let alone switch to manual control. When it hit those people, I was terrified. But this wasn't intentional. It was a system failure. The manufacturer and the software company must take responsibility. I'm a victim too."
Later that same day, a major pileup unfolded on the North Watson Expressway. Preliminary investigations indicate that an autonomous freight truck engaged in sudden emergency braking, causing following vehicles to crash in succession. The scene was described as chaotic until rescue units arrived. Authorities have confirmed 5 individuals in critical condition and 2 with minor injuries. The NCPD has issued a public advisory reminding residents that autonomous driving systems remain imperfect and carry inherent risks. Motorists are urged to be prepared to take manual control when necessary to ensure safety. Meanwhile, tech experts recommend that capable citizens may consider installing unofficial firmware upgrades to enhance system performance and driving stability, but stress that such modifications should be done cautiously and in compliance with applicable laws. Police state that investigations into both accidents are ongoing. The NCPD pledges to intensify oversight of autonomous vehicles and urges the public to remain vigilant on the roads and strictly follow traffic safety protocols.
Breaking news from Arasaka's Tokyo headquarters. The megacorporation today announced a major milestone in its large-scale mechanized weapons program. At the heart of this breakthrough is a newly developed neural direct link system, enabling pilots to map their own neural activity directly onto a mech's control modules with minimal latency and maximum synchronization. In practice, this means that operating a war machine weighing hundreds of tons will no longer depend on complex control interfaces, but instead feel as natural as moving one's own cybernetic limbs. According to Arasaka, the first prototype unit, designated Unit 0, has already achieved successful closed environment trials. Test data shows smooth maneuverability in both simulated urban and battlefield conditions. Full-scale production of Unit 1 is now underway, with development schedules for Units 2 and 3 already mapped into upcoming quarters. Perhaps most notably, Arasaka has also announced a global recruitment drive for pilots. Candidates will undergo rigorous neurological compatibility and psychological resilience testing to ensure stability under high-intensity synchronization loads. Industry analysts, however, caution that such deep neural integration could heighten the risk of neurodissociation syndrome and may even trigger symptoms resembling cyberpsychosis, concerns that Arasaka has not addressed publicly. Chief Scientist Dr. Ritsuko Akagi said at the press conference.
これは単なる機械工学ではなく、神経科学と機械工学を横断する革命的なブレイクスルーである外装装カー板における材料科学の革新は、従来のロボット設計の制約を打ち破り、ベロ号機に複雑な条件下での戦闘能力をもたらした。操縦席は LCL 液で満たされており、酸素を供給するだけでなく、神経接続を通じて操縦者と機体との深層的なシンクロを実現する。この方式は、擬態改造が伴う手術リスクや倫理的問題を回避すると同時に、従来の機械操作における反応速度の限界を突破し、まさに未来への新たな扉を開いたのである。
Observers widely believe this initiative represents far more than a simple technological advance. If deployed at scale, giant mechs could redefine the balance of power in urban security, international conflict, and even off-world colonization. Concluding the announcement, Arasaka executives emphasized that the program is not only intended to strengthen corporate security operations, but also to serve as a cornerstone in humanity's expansion into space. They expressed confidence that mechanized units will become decisive tools for construction, resource extraction, and defense in future extraterrestrial environments.
Our final story tonight also comes from Watson. Yesterday, the NCPD carried out a targeted raid in North Longshore, Watson's northern district. The operation struck an illegal storage site used for suppressants. According to an early police briefing, the location had recently been occupied by members of the Wraiths, who used it as a warehouse for smuggling and stockpiling contraband substances. During the raid, tactical units engaged in a violent firefight with gang members on site. 2 suspects were fatally shot, and 3 others were taken into custody. Police also seized a significant cache of high-purity suppressants with an estimated street value of over 100,000 euros. Investigations reveal that the site originally belonged to the Maelstrom gang. It had been used for storage and distribution of illegal suppressants. But following Maelstrom's internal upheaval, after former leader Brick was ousted and replaced by Royce, the Wraiths moved in and briefly gained control of the territory. Security analysts warn that Maelstrom's leadership crisis could trigger wider instability. The balance of power in Watson's underworld may be heading for a violent shift. Street violence is already on the rise. In recent weeks, Watson has seen repeated bloodshed and gunfire incidents, leaving NCPD resources stretched to their limits. Experts caution that if the trend continues, the entire north side could plunge deeper into a public safety crisis. For now, seized suppressants have been sent to labs for testing, while investigators work to trace the upstream supply chain. NCPD officials stress that they will maintain pressure in Watson, cracking down on all forms of drug trafficking and gang activity. Still, with Maelstrom's internal power struggles unresolved, analysts fear the district's turbulence is far from over. In the coming weeks, escalating gang violence may become the new normal. Residents are urged to avoid high-risk zones such as North Longshore, especially after dark. This is N54 News. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.